These blackberries were thriving. Big fruit with big, yummy flavor from only a few plants. But I did something that might seem, well, a little crazy. Even though these blackberries were producing like champs, they were in the middle of a jungle that I could barely manage. There are times in life where we have these ideas, and in our minds, these ideas, oh man, they're always gonna work. It was like, you see it, and you're like, it's definitely going to work. But you know what? Sometimes they don't quite work out the way that you think that they're going to work out. And similar with my blackberries and my raspberries that I had growing with my fruit trees. And even though they were producing well, I knew we could do better. And the goal with my fruit trees, as well as the blackberries and raspberries and the rest of my farmstead, is to do things based on sustainable and permaculture principles. Permaculture is amazing. Sustainability is amazing. I think of food forests, companion planting, self-sustaining ecosystems. All of that is great. But you know what some of us permaculture and sustainability channels and experts don't show you? Well, there's times where some of these areas can become just a crazy green, chaotic jungle of mess that's hard to deal with. Just imagine your kitchen so full of stuff that you can't even get to the fridge to get the food that you want to get to eat. That's what it felt like. So I was like, yeah, we definitely gotta make a change, because there's no need to go through the jungle and we cut things down and whacking stuff down just to get to the fruit that you want to eat. So I'm like, we got to change something with my blackberries and raspberries. So I took a risk. I ripped them out and moved them to a completely different area. Come on, raspberry. Now, I really love these blackberry plants that I got from Stark Brothers. They're delicious. I just put them in the wrong place. They need something else. So that's why I had to move them. Have you ever made a bold move in your life, not knowing if something was going to work out completely or not, but you had to do something about it? Well, same with me and these blackberries and raspberries. Digging up something that was thriving felt wrong. But thinking of the chaos that was going on here, I knew it was the right thing to do. And sometimes with our choices that we make, even though things may be working, making a change can make them work even better. But I knew I didn't want to just abandon the permaculture principles. I just needed to change things up a little bit. But I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with my blackberries and raspberries until I took a trip to Cloud9 Farm. It's a jammin' little spot with neat rows of blueberries that seem to go on and on and on. And this farm is also the place where we held our first ever Homesteaders United Jamboree, a hands-on event where we taught people all kinds of skills, from butchering chickens to composting and more hands-on skills. And in addition to the blueberries, Janet, the owner of Cloud9 Farm, also grows blackberries and raspberries here on her farm. And her setup for her blackberries is beautiful. They're all trellised and tidied with space to walk in between. It's clean, simple, and still honors the permaculture way. And with her berries being trellised the way that they are, it's so easy to go in, find the fruit, harvest it. Also easy to prune and easier to keep things tighter. And it looks better. It looks a lot better. And then it hit me. Structure isn't the opposite of permaculture. Some people have the mindset of permaculture to plant everything on top of each other and just let it run wild. Whereas chaos Now, is that kind of permaculture really sustainable if we're not able to properly tend and keep those areas? I don't think so. I don't think so. And with seeing her system, it also reminded me of how I grow tomatoes. I like to grow tomatoes and cucumbers on trellis systems, which makes them easier to harvest, easier to prune and tend to. Why couldn't I have done the same with the blackberries? So that's what we're doing. But only if they survived me moving them in the fall. Well, fast forward, and now it's spring, and we've been busy. Really busy trying to get things rocking and rolling here, as well as mowing the grass and keeping things down and tidy on the farm. And my son Micah turns 9 years old this year, and he's been really wanting to do more, including helping to keep things tidier. He's really into mowing and weed eating right now, so I've been working on teaching him how to do it.
I really like weeding and mowing because it's fun and it's work.
You like work or something?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. And not too long ago, as I was mowing in the area where I transplanted the raspberries and blackberries, it was the time to see if our plants that I had moved survived. And let me tell you, it did feel so nice to be able to mow right beside the rows that I made with those blackberries and raspberries. And as I look down, I'm able to see that it looks like a lot of them did survive. Check out my raspberries here. They're coming back. So, nice to see this. You see that new growth here? Exciting. All right, now I just gotta make sure they're able to grow and don't get smothered out by other things. All right, but I gotta be careful. I can mow around them, but to get close, I gotta be able to weed around here without chopping them down. All right, so see right here, I gotta get some of this stuff out from around it. All right, got work cut out for me. And again, thinking of Cloud9 Farm, I noticed that she stays on top of weeding around her berries. And I bet trellising the berries is what makes weeding around them easier. But I only hoped that I don't take out any of my plants prior to trellising them. Gotta be careful, gotta be careful. Okay, how did that go? Right here. Little growth there. Well, I didn't chop it up too much. Just a tap. Just tap. Just tap, tap. And don't touch that. Alright, that was one raspberry plant weeded around. A lot more to go. There we go, there's one. Without being trellised, the vines easily get lost in the midst of other vegetation. As I continued, I learned that instead of just holding the trigger down on the weed eater, just tapping it, it helped me control the speed and the power in which I was clipping the weeds around my berry plants, and it made it easier to not hit my berries. Got that around that. From there I just kept at it, clearing out the vegetation around my raspberry plants. And then after that, I added some mulch around each plant. Just enough to kind of mark the plant. Later on I plan to do deeper mulch so that way the moisture won't retain in the soil for our berries to thrive, because they like to have that moisture. But right now we're just marking the plants, focus on making progress, getting this area prepped and ready to be trellised. Then it was time for my blackberries. Over here is my blackberries. Thornless blackberries. Alright. Look at them. Oh, they got some flowers on them. Alright, I got to take care of my babies. These are already opening up. I gotta hurry up and get this done. Give me some blackberries. Look at this. Boys shooting Nerf guns over here. My boys and their Nerf guns. They're constantly using those guns, shooting them all over the place. But there was actually this one time that my wife was using the Nerf gun, and
I was standing right here and Mike was right over there, and I just told the boys not to shoot each other whenever I pointed the gun, because I had taken their Nerf gun, and I pointed it at Mike's stomach or his leg. That's what I wanted to hit, and I pulled the trigger and that Nerf dart went straight, well, it didn't go straight, it curved up and hit him.
And it hit me right in the eye.
And needless to say, he wasn't very happy about it.
Now, I like raspberries, but you know what? I think I like blackberries even more. What about you? Let me know in the comment section below. I recently did a poll here on YouTube asking people what their favorite berry was out of raspberries, blackberries, strawberries, blueberries, and you know what the winner was? Strawberries. A majority of the people said strawberry is their favorite berry. I like strawberries too. Strawberries and blackberries, they're like right up there together. Almost want to like mix them together. Oh, that reminds me, wildberry. Whew. Back when I used to eat junk food, I used to eat a lot of Pop-Tarts, and wildberry was one of my favorite. Now, I have been able to find Nature's Path Pop-Tarts, and I will eat them as a treat from time to time because they're just organic and they're yummy. Oh, and I also like mixed berry Redmond Relight. I don't drink Gatorade or any of that junk, but Relight is my favorite drink to rehydrate and get the electrolytes I need in, especially on a day working out on the farm. And mixed berry is my favorite flavor of the Relight. But back to my blackberry plants. I basically repeated the same process with my blackberries as I use with the raspberries. Carefully weed eating around each plant. But with the blackberries, I noticed something different. Blackberries are definitely thicker stem branches than the raspberries. They can take a little bit more. Still don't want to beat them up that much though. Want to be careful. Gradually, we made progress with the blackberries, but I did lose one more. But thankfully, I didn't lose many. And eventually, we weeded around all the blackberries. Whew. That was a process. So the next day, we got to work on our trellis for the blackberries. Sorry, that's not the best sound in the world. Earplugs, earmuffs do help with that. I definitely needed them because that was a number of posts that we had to put in there for our trellis system here. Next, I ran my wire. And the wire that I'm using here is basically electric fence wire. Finger cut almost. And I connected it to the T-post with electric fence insulators. Just like that. There we go. Now let me tell you, connecting these insulators to the T-post can be tough. Let's get this on here. I mean, really tough. So tough, it was hurting my hand, so I'm like, let's just try to see if we can put them on with some pliers or some tool or something. But that wasn't much easier either. So I said, oh, I got an idea. Let's try this. And the thinking was, if I could warm these up, make them a little bit hotter, they should be a little bit more flexible and easier to put onto the T-post. At least that's what I was hoping for. Should be warmer. Not cooked. Still warm. Should make it more flexible. Let's see. Big time difference. Big time difference. Boom. Yeah, buddy. It worked. All right, gotta hurry while it's still warm. Should have put them in like some kind of pan or something covered to keep them warm. All right, come on. Bam. Boom, shakalaka. And being able to snap those on easier made us roll a lot faster with setting them up on the T-post and getting this trellis system set up. So I ran a couple more strands of wire, popped on some more insulators, installed the wire into the insulators, and easy. Just stay there. Then this is how we attach the vines to the trellis. We used these little clips called vine clips and connected them, the vine, to the wire. So wants to go here. All right. So Micah, you see that? See how it starts off open?
Yeah.
We're gonna pinch it. Where it pinches, it leaves enough room to go in there. But then we want it to wrap around our plant too. So wire in there, and just like that. Yep. Got that one. Good. Next one right here.
Next
Yeah,
little
right
one.
there. All right, let's do this one right here. All right, gentle, gentle. You don't want to break them. Don't want to break them. Yep, let's go right where my hand is here. That gives it enough flexibility. Don't knock the flowers off if you can help it. Okay, yep, pinch this part, yep, into the wire. Good. Good job. Here you go, look at there. Now, we still have to set up this same kind of system with our raspberries, but I'm so excited about it for our blackberries. I just had to share it with you, as well as we've been sharing it with the rest of the family, like my daughter, Selah, who helped me to harvest the blackberries even back when we had the jungle last year. All right, Selah, check this out. Our blackberries.
Wow.
So, no more having to weave through the jungle or whack things away. You should just be able to easily come on here, grab your blackberries here and there, easily gather up your harvest. Won't that be a lot easier?
Well.
So, all right. What do you have in mind of making with the blackberries this year? Because last year you made blackberry syrup and it was awesome. So what else you got in mind?
I could make muffins. I could make pie, cobbler.
What else? You're just making me hungry. I can just taste it already. Delicious. Anything else?
I don't know off the top of my head.
All right, do you have any suggestions for her? Let us know in the comments below. But I just love some blackberries. Yes, let's do this. Can you do that with your head again? Can you shake your head no?
Daddy, Daddy!
Yep, shake your head no. Let's make it your happy place. Alrighty. Just don't poke me. I know you're in your happy place. You can still be a little pokey.
Who are you, the brown Bob Ross?
I don't have the fro for it, but what if I want to be the brown or burnt orange Bob Ross? Right there. Whoops.